All right. She mentioned other stuff. You coming over to where she lives and all that, and scared, putting her in fear for her safety. What about that?
Understand where she lives. She comes where I am. She comes to his house.
Well, his house is actually her house. It belongs to her.
It doesn't matter if I'm not coming to you. Why are you coming to me?
Do you live in her house?
I have a child with her son, so it don't have nothing to do with her. Why are you in our business?
Live in her house.
No, he paid rent to her. So
today we have a woman in court trying to get a TPO against her son's baby mama. The baby mama also accused the mother and her son of putting paws on her. We're going to get into it, but first, take a second to make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. Click the notification bell for all updates. Won't waste any time. Let's go ahead and get into it.
Take yourselves off mute, please. Both of you raise your right hands. Do you swear affirm testimony you're about to give is the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Ms. Asbury, you have any witnesses or just you?
It's just me.
What about you, Ms. Hector?
No, ma'am.
All right, go ahead, Ms. You still want to go for it, Ms. Asbury?
Yes, I do.
All right, go ahead. Start from the most recent event, please. Please. Stay focused.
The most recent event was September the 11th. But we've been going through this for a year and a half, but the most recent event was September the 11th. My neighbor, I work all the time, Your Honor. And I also do community. I have a nonprofit, so I'm out in the community all the time. But my neighbors kind of look out for me because they kind of know what's going on. And they called me and said that it was an altercation going on at my home down at I went down like I always do to try to escalate the situation. And Miss Hector, we call her Drill, she's always coming to our property, and I have a property right up the street, which is not my son stays in the she has a child by my son, and she since she had the baby, she just out of control. I wish both of them would go to family counsel to, try to find out how to coexist with the child. But Miss Hector, she'll get mad with my son and she takes it out on the whole family where she makes threats towards me. Every time I try to de-escalate the situation, it's always a threat toward me. The threats are toward the neighbors. This neighborhood is mostly older people live in the neighborhood, and it's just like right now it's just becoming an embarrassment. The threats are coming out of control. I don't take it lightly because I had a sister who passed for domestic violence. So I even tried to talk to her and say, look, this is not the way to do it. This is not the way to do it. The last thing before that.
Wait, why is this idiot laughing? I don't see nothing funny. Already I believe the mother because look at how she's acting. The grandmother of the child is saying that she's been out of order ever since she had the baby. But I'm inclined to believe that she's been acting like this. That's why it's important to make sure that you vet the people that you deal with. You vet the people you get into a relationship, marriage with, especially people that you're going to tie your bloodline with. That's why unprotected relations to me is never a joke. Having kids out of wedlock and with the wrong people is never a joke. And you have a lot of people that say it's their business. No, it's not just your business. The person you choose to be with and the person you choose to connect your bloodline with, it can impact everybody around you. Look at this. He laid down with trash and look at what he's got his mama going through. She's having to take this woman to court. She's embarrassing the whole family in the neighborhood. The neighbors are now involved. None of this is funny. And the grandmother here is saying that this woman is so out of control. She's saying that she's going to do stuff to them. And of course, the grandmother is on edge because her own sister ended up losing her life to DV. So the grandmother is taking this seriously because she understands how this could spiral out of control.
Defects will call on her because she tries to just make my son do things with the kid, even though he tried his best to do what he needs to do. She go sit the child on the pudge and somebody and leave, and don't even know if my son there or not. She might see the car, but she don't know if my son there or not. She'll sit the child on the pudge. So somebody called defects on her. So I guess she thought it was me called defects. So she sent a threatening message, and I can read it. She said, "Not you trying to get caught a tuck from me. Watch what I tell you. Watch your back, cause it's up for your ass." Then she showed up at my house. I called the police. I have police reports on all of this. She showed up at my house. And then, and that was before September 11th. It's kind of like going back. September the 11th, when I went down trying to de-escalate the situation, she left the baby, but she came back on September 12th with the police saying we just took the baby. But she said on September 11th because the baby was out there in the car while she doing all this. I went and got the baby because the baby was crying. She was like, okay, F it, y'all just keep the baby. Okay, I know she wasn't telling the truth, but of course the baby need to be seen by. So I took the baby and, when they got the baby pampers and milk or whatever, and just, make sure the baby was comfortable.
Yes, I believe it. She was out there playing games, leaving the baby out on the porch, trying to get back at the daddy. Came over there again on September 11th, trying to pop off on the baby daddy. Meanwhile, the baby is in the car, not being looked after. And the grandmother here, she was concerned about the baby. She picked up the baby. So the grandmother went to the store to buy things for the baby to make sure that the child was okay and comfortable. But the next day, this moron right here, she came back over there with the police, making the police believe that the baby daddy and his mother took the baby. And the only reason why the mama and the neighbors and everybody else, they're all into this is because, one, her son lives in the same neighborhood, and the baby mama here is going over there to the house, making all this noise, disturbing everybody.
But she came back with the police the next day. The next day, which was September 12th, things really escalated out of control. And, we was trying, I showed the police TPO, and while the police was reading the TPO, she said something about, that's why your sister died. She was making reference to my dead sister and everything. I turned around to walk toward her. The police, then she told the police I hit her, but I did not hit her.
Now, the baby mama is definitely out of order for taunting this woman, bringing up her deceased sister. That's not right. I could also believe the baby mama when she said that the grandmother hit her after this.
Okay, you're right.
So Miss Asbury, let me ask you, so you are the grandmother of the baby between her and your son?
I have nothing to do with it, but she takes it out every time she get mad at my son. She takes it out on the whole family, and that's what I'm tired of.
Does your son live with you?
No,
he lives in my house. And
Miss Hector, let me hear from her.
You're right. I'm sorry.
Right. So, Miss Asbury, does he live with you?
No, he lives down the street in my home. I let both my son live in my home.
All right. Does he come to your house a lot?
Yeah, he does.
All right.
So I go to 20. He have other kids, so I help out with my other grandkids while my other grandkids were there. So I'm at both houses at all times.
All right. So your position is when she gets mad at him or whatever, she uses you as a grandma and a babysitter when she wants to. When she gets mad at him or gets mad at you, she comes over there, acts out, and you feel fear for your safety.
Yes, because she's very, yes, she, to me, I don't want to say she's mental because I can't diagnose that, but something is wrong, Your Honor.
All right, I got you. Miss Hector, I'll hear from you. Stay on point, Miss Hector.
Right. I'm gonna stay on point.
Go ahead.
Okay, so ever since I had my child, before Terrence, before we started going back and forth, it was no back and forth until his mom got involved. His mom started telling the baby father that we had to be married for him to help me. This man was staying in my house, and she told him he couldn't help me, and I was on my 6 weeks, couldn't work, couldn't do nothing. She was telling him, don't help me with my child. It started being a problem when he started like not helping me. I'm asking him like, just help me. I got everything that I need. Just help me. Just watch my child. That's it. I don't ask this man for no money, no nothing.
And see, this is where they don't like to take accountability for their own actions. Why are you getting pregnant by a man that's not your husband? That's how you find yourself in a situation where you're not getting the help that you need. And this is all your fault. You are not properly managing your reproductive organs. Young ladies, you do not just lay down with anybody, and you do not allow a man to have unprotected relations with you and allow any old man that's not even committed to you to get you pregnant in the first place. This is why I've been saying that for years. You do not put yourself in this situation. If you did things the right way, you wouldn't be complaining about how you're not getting help, because you would have had a baby by a man that you properly vetted over a significant period of time, and that man would be committed to you. As a woman, it's your responsibility to make sure that you pick a man that's going to be responsible for you and his baby. You failed at that. So ultimately, you also have to suffer the consequences of your own decisions.
Just watch my child. Anytime me and Terrence get into it, I come to his house, and whenever we get into it, she comes down there and she calls the police.
And then she's so eager to talk that she didn't realize she just told on herself. She said every time there's a dispute between her and her baby daddy, she goes to his house. Ma'am, what are you going to his house to do? You're going there to escalate the argument. You're aggressive and you're combative. And that's why his mom is coming over there calling the police to de-escalate the situation. You're causing a disturbance in the neighborhood.
Just watch my child. Anytime me and Terrence get into it, I come to his house, and whenever we get into it, she comes down there, she calls the police. This man has literally brutally, he and all, and they sit and watch him abuse me.
You gotta watch these flamingos. They are straight up manipulators. She said it herself. They get into these arguments, then she'll run over there to his house. The part she's leaving out, and they always conveniently leave out, is that she's the one initiating, instigating, and escalating these situations. And if a man ever defended himself, she could say, oh, he did something to me. Ma'am, cut it out.
And every time we have an altercation, she calls the police. She come down there, she involves herself. Terrence don't call the police, she calls the police. She don't help with my child. She tell him, don't get my child.
I'm sure most men don't call the police on you. You just keep poking and poking the bear until you can get him to pounce on you, and that's usually the time when y'all call the police on him. But because his mama, another woman, is there, she's able to see what's going on, and she's trying to make sure that she called the police on you before things escalate and you get her son into trouble.
All right. She mentioned other stuff. You coming over to where she lives and all that, and putting her in fear for her safety. What about that?
She came where she lives. She comes where I am. She comes to his house.
Well, his house is actually her house. It belongs to her.
It doesn't matter if I'm not coming to you. Why are you coming to me?
Do you live in her house?
I have a child with her son, so it don't have nothing to do with her. Why are you in our business?
Live in her house.
No, he pays rent to her. So, and he come to my house all the time. So what? We have a child together. You can't make me stop bringing my child to him. And she also put her hands on me. She took my child, and when I came back to get my child, they didn't want to give me my child. So yes, I came with the police officer, and when we was talking to the police officer, she was talking mess, and I talked mess back to her. All I said was, you are raising an abusive man, and you're expecting me to feel sorry for you because your sister died. You're raising your son to be abusive. I have scars. I have pictures of this man brutally, like literally dragging me on the concrete down the hill. This man is bigger than me. I can't, like, I don't have nobody on my side. That's crazy.
No, logical, intelligent people are on the side of what makes sense, what's the truth. Logical people won't just listen to you saying that word over and over again, trying to trigger emotions out of people to make them automatically feel sorry for you. If his mama raised a DV man, then your mama raised a DV woman. You get into arguments over the phone, and then Raggedy Ann, you show up to his house, escalating these arguments and making it physical. That's what you're doing. And then when it's all over, you're like, look at this, look at that, look at what he did to me. I'm sorry, that may work with the other wicked, rebellious Jezebels just like you, but that will not work with people that's using their common sense. You are the one escalating physical altercations. And it's not altercations or whatever you called it. It's altercations. You should know how to say the word since you're the one always trying to have them.
Hold on right quick. This is my baby. I'm on the phone with the court. It's your mom. That's what I'm doing. Okay, and I'm on court with your mama. You want to explain to her?
Anything else, Miss Hector?
It's a lot. It's just a lot. It's just she always involving herself. She also put her hands on me while I was sitting in the car, didn't do anything to her. Like I was saying, I told her I wasn't saying, oh, that's why your sister is dead. I was making
All right.
And she put her hands on me though. That's what I'm saying.
You don't have a counterclaim. Nothing I can do about that. Anything else, Miss Asbury?
Yes, Your Honor. When she's saying that I never tell my child, that's my grandchild. Why would I tell my child not to take care of his baby?
Anything else that's relevant?
No, ma'am.
All right, both of you put your emails in the chat. I'm gonna put this in place for 12 months.
That's fine. I don't gotta be around her. Don't want to be around her.
Okay, so the grandmother got what she came for, which was a restraining order against her son's baby mama. But you notice how the baby mama went on and on about how her son was so this and so that. He's bigger than her, like she's afraid of him, but he showed up to her house. And she's like, come in here. I'm on court with your mama. You want to explain to them? But my thing is, if you're such a victim and he's this and he's that, why do you run over there to his house to escalate the argument when you're mad at him? What exactly are you going over there to do? We already know what you're doing. You're trying to fight. What they really need is a custody agreement, but he's not going to go to court because she'll put him on child support. So instead, he's choosing to deal with Raggedy Ann to keep things cool, but it's still not cool anyway, which makes him just as raggedy as Raggedy Ann. He's got multiple kids, and she knew that before she got with him. When you made the decision to be a baby mama to a man with multiple kids and a mama that lived down the street, you signed up for all of this. You accepted those terms and conditions. What you need to do is better navigate this situation. Get some coaching, some therapy, some parenting classes, anger management, before you end up doing something else you can't take back. You are definitely out of order for bringing up that woman's dead sister. If she really put hands on you, then she's out of order too. I have to say her sister had nothing to do with you. So there's further proof of what we already know. You like to taunt people and play victim. And as far as the grandmother, your son is a grown man, and he's also making the decision to keep her close to him, just so he can stay off child support and have access to her catfish nugget. So he's responsible too. At this point, grandma, you need to stay out of it. Whatever happens between them will be the fault of her own son and his baby mama. Let's go ahead and get the conversation started. Let me know what you think about this below. Special thanks to Vance. I appreciate you, Vance, for all of your support, as well as Nicholas and Rob P. Don't forget that you can support this channel as well. Links to Cash App and PayPal are below. Ladies, fellas, want a balanced analysis, want the truth from a woman's perspective? Then you're going to want to subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to like and share.